Welcome back to Books and Budgets. Have you ever had a goal that it took you a while to achieve, and once you did, it kind of left you feeling a little off balance and you had to make some mental adjustments? That's one of the things I'm dealing with this week, and I hope you'll come along and I will show you how. I am once again recapping the first half of the month. This is the first half of June. No, you did not miss it. I did not do a weekly check-in, which I said in my last video was very important, but I was already running behind then. I'm about caught up to myself now. So we're getting into June. Here we go. Here was the budget that we made, underestimating my income, slightly overestimating my bills, so that hopefully it comes out with a happy result. There were a few things that I wasn't expecting this time. Let's get into it. The rollover was $50. It actually wasn't, and I will go into that. I ended up doing a deep dive to reconcile all of these papers to my bank account. It was off by a little bit. I mean, I want to say like $13, and that was driving me insane. So I went back 3 months, I printed out bank statements, and I found it, which turned out that I had forgotten. There were a couple of things in there, but one of them was I had forgotten to write down a gas charge, I believe, when I put gas in my tank one time. So I'll show you how I adjusted for that. Okay. I stopped because I wanted to say something about this. My paycheck was $16.86.35. A little bit more than normal because this is the last paycheck for after-school tutoring. We finished in April. We turn in our time cards at the beginning of May, and we get paid at the beginning of June. Only this is the pay for, I think, 2 hours of after-school tutoring, and I did 4. And so I'm going to have to make a phone call about that tomorrow. Now, the other unexpected thing that came along was my son told me about, asked me if I wanted to go to see all 3 of the Lord of the Rings movies in the theater. I don't know if you were aware that they did that on the weekend of June, June 9th and 10th. And I think they did it again this weekend. They showed The Fellowship of the Ring on Saturday, The Two Towers on Sunday, and The Return of the King. And these are all extended edition, digitally remastered. They showed it on Monday evening because they knew a lot of people had gone back to work. So instead of showing it in the afternoon, they showed it on the evening, and it went till nearly midnight. So I said, yes, let's do it. We committed to it. We jumped in, and then it turned out that the tickets were even more than regular movie tickets because it's an anniversary. I think I'm seeing how, besides outrageous concession prices, the movie theaters are trying to stay in business. And I know that with streaming services, they were probably struggling to keep their head above water. We had one in town that closed, and we are crossing our fingers that someone else comes in and takes it over. There is a rumor that that's going to happen, but because the other theater, the nicer theater, immediately raised their prices by $1.50 when they had no more competition. So a little capitalism at work for you. But anyway, what I have done, I don't know if I mentioned, I put aside $20 for entertainment fund every half month, every paycheck. And I take it out in cash and put it in an envelope because we don't always spend it. We have lots of streaming services. We have things to do. We don't always spend it. So I ended up returning cash from that envelope. It's about my only cash envelope that I have. Envelope. Yeah, I spelled it right. So I returned $45, which was all that it had. That is not all that it cost, but that added to the $25 that I budgeted for this pay period that was 70 and it came close. So I just managed to, cash flow the rest. Okay. I am not going to tell this many stories with everything. Also, I was going to attempt to zoom this in. Give me just a minute. Let me see if I can zoom it in, and I will try to stay in frame. All right, I'm back. Now, transfer to checking for shopping. That's always $25. It's an automatic transfer, so it goes right through. Union dues, $31.25, as always. Mortgage. I thought this month it might go up because I know that I got a letter about the escrow. I'm guessing it goes up next month. I think it's going to go up about $20 to $25. We shall see, won't we? When I went back and looked at the older bills, realized that my AT&T internet, which I said has been creeping up on me, and it has creeped down about, 50 cents, maybe. A tiny, tiny little amount. Negligible amount. But it's much better than it going the other way. My AC contract, which is back on automatic. My Apple storage. And lawn care, which lawn's getting a little shaggy, I'll have to admit. He mostly comes regularly, but I know with all of the rain, I'm sure he got behind on a bunch of his yards, and he's trying to catch up. So, truthfully, I don't really mind when it's a little shaggy. It's just a little bit shaggy, and it saves me some money. So, why should I care? All right. All of this totals to $1,105.31. So it was under budget. Wow. I was under by quite a bit, it seems like. By $20. Almost $20. Okay, that's the little bits and pieces. But what I had left was $676.04. I'm going to carry that down here. $676.04. Groceries, we did good on groceries this week. Now, we did good for a very bad reason. The bad reason is we did not do good with eating out. I am finding that being out and about in the summertime, I have my second summer job that I'm working with the reading camp. Being out and about, I have a tendency more often to say, oh, I want to stop and get a little treat. I want a Sonic drink. I want an ice cream sundae. I want a lot of things, especially cool things when you're out in the heat. I have to watch that. Okay, here's our entertainment. This is what the tickets cost for 2 people for 3 shows of The Lord of the Rings. It was a lot, but it really was kind of exciting. And my son, who was the one who was talking me into it, became a little less than convinced that it would be worth it, especially when he found out that the tickets were actually more. It's like, that's not... saying this, hoping that you understand that we are the kind of fans that I do have the extended edition on DVD. Of course I do. It's not that we haven't seen them, but he's 24. He's never seen any of the shows in the theater. And so we went in and we sat down, and within 5 minutes, the music on surround sound, if I haven't mentioned, he's a musician. The music on surround sound, he was like, oh yeah, we're doing this. So it was, something we could do together that was fun. I did not end up spending anything on school like I thought I might on this new reading camp. A few things that I found to take with me were all things that I had. So, okay. Now, let me move this up a little bit to get to the total. Our total for variable spending was $440.65. Because this was so much more, and that was so much more. But still leaves us an excess because I did add that $45 got added to this right here. So that plus, oh, I thought I had 25. See, I do have 25. Let me change that here. I'm looking at my draft. I usually do 20, but I think I knew something was up. And so in my draft, I did 25. And that probably 510, yeah, that's what equaled 375. I don't know if any of you caught it, that this didn't equal 375, it equaled 370. So those two together, that's $70. I cash flowed $18.68. That's not a problem. Okay, so yeah, this was much more the problem. All right, so what I have left is $235.39. Okay, again, wanting to make sure I keep things in frame. All right, here we are. So we're going to bring that up. 235.39. Checking buffer always gets 50. And this is where what I was talking about comes into play. I will go ahead and show you. Do I have the old one? I do not. I have it here somewhere. Aha. Excuse me. Here it is. This is last month's bank account tracker. This is my savings account, and this is how I'm tracking my different sinking funds. And my emergency fund was at $4,948.70. My goal was to get it to $5,000 and then to shift priorities. Assuming that $5,000 stays there and does not get spent, that should be comfortable. But it's very, very difficult to get that into my head. My head is saying, oh, we've got to keep going. There could be an emergency. But I'm going to stick with my original plan. So I brought that up to say I was $52 away. Well, down here, this emergency fund, the snowball from my Discover credit card that I wanted to keep, this $50 right here, this puts me within $2 or $1 and something of my goal. So, and I've got more money up here. So what do? Well, I am going to shift focus, and what I'm shifting to is home maintenance. I've said that I need to have work done on my house, and I mean, the summer's already started. It's slipping away. I've got to start pricing that out and seeing if I can schedule somebody, and also find out what kind of loan, what kind of financing I'm going to need for these things. So I'm going to go ahead and put $25 in here. I'm going to put $75 in home maintenance. It is now going to be what I was kind of doing. My thinking was always, I've got my emergency fund. I've got about 6 sinking funds that I have a 7th one, but I only put the utilities in there. I have about 6 sinking funds, and I usually try to do something like 50% in my emergency fund and then divide the other 50% or a little less than 50% and put it into the other 6. I'm going to start flipping this. I'm going to flip home maintenance up to be my priority, and it will get 50%. I'm thinking this through kind of, and don't hold me to it because it may adjust. This is my first think through. I'm going to flip home maintenance up, and it's going to get my 50%. Then the other 6, emergency fund is going to go down basically to the bottom of it. Medical, I have a medical one, but I've got an HSA, so I filled it to $250, and I may be pretty much content with that as well. And let's see, there was one other one. No, those 2 especially are where I was kind of aiming for. So I'm going to put them at the bottom, and they may receive a little less than the other 4. The other 4 would be car maintenance, pets, gifts, and vacation. So I'm just going to kind of see, but I usually only fund those on my second paycheck. This one is the way I'm going to fund this time. So this makes $150. That's how much I'm putting in sinking funds. Subtracted from $235 leaves me $85.39. And thankfully, still no debt. $85.39. This is $75. That leaves $10.39 for my, I call it party with my pennies on my videos. I don't know where that came from. On my draft, I started calling it my change roundup. Either way, I am actually doing that video this week. So you are going to see finally what I mean when I do the tiniest of tiny cash challenges. All right. I could zoom this back out, but we are going straight into the next page. So I want to keep it zoomed in. We're looking at what I just talked about, the my savings account and how it's broken out. This time, the emergency fund received $75, which brings it to $5,023.70. Home got $100. That brings it to $330. Home maintenance. Insurance, there was an insurance payment taken out of that account for $84.08. That was one of the things that threw me off. Insurance payments, if they are not, they intend to divide them equally per month, but it does happen that every now and then the math is off and they will change it by a penny. I had one such month a couple of months ago, and it threw all of my stuff off by 1 penny. And yes, I had to go chase that down. Sometimes it's hard being in this head. Okay. Nothing else received any money this paycheck. So I'm just going to put a little line, carry these over quickly. These are not big amounts in my sinking funds. Not for medical, not for vacation, not for gifts. The biggest amount is in my utility one, and I will need it this summer, I'm sure. But I can remember when they were $10 and $15 or $3. So just don't be discouraged when the amounts are scary small. I mean, because you know that one home maintenance call from a serviceman could wipe out my entire thing that I've spent months building. But it's okay. What I have now is more than I have had. That's what the emergency fund is for, if it's needed. I just am doing the best I can. Oh, I do this 2 ways, and I didn't mean to do it on here. I add this way to double check, because $175 minus the $84.08 is $90.92. And then I add this all this way to make sure I got my totals right. This one needs to match this one, and they do. So that is my sinking funds for this paycheck. I have my expense tracker. I'm not going to go over it. I will show you that, eating out. Eating out. Let's see. Eating out. And this one was a big one, but I went with some friends who are getting ready to go on vacation for a month, and I won't see them. And it was nice we tried a new place. And some of these aren't big eating out. I got a soda and some fries. But yeah, that's more than last time. And I said, that last time would be something I need to do. Okay, one last thing. Down here, I found that charge from the gas station that I had not put. I didn't want to redo all of this math, so I just added it to the bottom. It means that, truthfully, I have taken my checking buffer down to $25 instead of $50. So, next pay period, I will be adding that. I will be making sure that's covered. Okay. And last but not least, I add up my categories. Let me change my draft here. Uh-oh. Things are falling. Okay. Home expenses, this pay period, $866.82. Groceries, like I showed you, $182.79. Eating out, $131.74. Need to stop that. Utilities, all it is at the beginning of the month is my internet and my Apple storage. Insurance, nothing went. I didn't take anything from this paycheck to put in there. I do that. I cover it all. Since it's all in savings and coming out of savings, I cover it all in the second half of the month, which is another way that I split up my bills. I have various due dates for the insurance. This way I don't have to worry about it, but I can pay it all out of my second paycheck. So that's what I do. Okay. Gas. Does anybody else get aggravated when you're trying to pump an even number of gas and it just goes a penny or two over? Yep, that's me. Okay. Here's our movie adventure. And by the way, it really was fun to see it all together like that instead of years apart. And didn't have any gifts this time. Miscellaneous. I think that was also an eating out. I just wasn't going to count it as another eating out. No debt. Savings. A modest $185, but hey, there have been times when it was, $3. This savings, I got to put something in savings. Nothing goes to Matthew and my rollover. Like I said, it was supposed to be 50, but when you add all of these up, you get $1781.35. And that is the magic number, let me find it, that we have right here. So I know that I've accounted for all of my spending and I've achieved my zero-based budget. So that is this budget or budget recap done for the first paycheck in June. Like I said, I do have some work to do with, I need to call and find out about the rest of that paycheck. And I got a nice little bonus in the second half. We will talk about that in the next video. I am going to do 2 videos this week besides this one. Guaranteed. I've committed to them. Hold me to it. I'm going to do the budget for the second half of June because today is Sunday, June 16th, and I've already done mine. I need to film it. So I will do that. And I'm going to do, like I said, the mini, and I mean mini, the tiny savings challenges that I do with the money that I put right here that rounds up any of the change and has a few dollars. I have 2 very small savings challenges that I never complete, but I will show you what I do with them. Anybody can find something to save, even just a few pennies, even $1 or $2 here or there. There are lots of little ways to trick yourself into it. And I have to say, even though it's not a lot, this plus what I have in my gift savings sinking fund was enough to fund my Christmas last year. I didn't do an extravagant Christmas, but it was enough to get what I wanted. And I can start building from there. So please be encouraged. Everybody can find a way to save even a little bit, even in this economy. I truly believe that. So I hope you're having a wonderful June. I hope it's not too hot where you are. And if you are working along with me and working on a budget and trying to stay focused or trying to refocus after you've met one or more financial goals, I would love it if you would join me here. Hit the little like button to let me know you watched. That's encouraging. Or subscribe to my channel. And I will see you soon. Bye.